I'm going back to my theory. I think she's going to set these aliens free. Because even later on, when she's having a conversation with Boy Kavalier one-on-one, she's basically kind of throwing the idea of like, I think we should let these aliens go. Boy Kavalier refuses to have an honest, moral conversation about what they're doing right now, which in a sense, I think is a level of intellect that Wendy has that Boy Kavalier doesn't have. I don't think he has any sort of emotional intelligence. He thinks everything is a joke. He thinks everything is fun. He thinks he's in control of everything.
I mean, until you bring in these aliens, that's when everybody really loses control. All the people in these shows, they think they have control. And in thinking that, they get very lax and they make stupid, poor protocol needing decisions. And that's how everybody gets like basically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I feel like season 1's gonna end up with all of this blowing up in Boy Cavalier's face.
It has to. Yeah.
I predict that this whole company is gonna go down by the end of season 1 if they plan. Welcome everybody to another episode of the Most Potato Podcast. My name is Captain Alvin.
I'm Jess.
And welcome aboard to the Most Potato Podcast spaceship as we explore xenomorphs and octopi and other alien creatures wrecking the ship.
I don't know. I think we're going to have to stop watching this. I don't like how it's influencing you.
I love this show.
I can see.
Guys, we're back to talk Alien Earth. This time we're going to discuss episodes 4 and 5. And I got to say, I'm loving the show more and more each week. I don't got to say much about it because I'm an alien nerd. I think at this point, everybody knows I'm kind of an alien nerd. This show is giving me everything that I've basically been like expecting and wanting for a TV series. And I'm curious to know how you're feeling as we go further in. Are you feeling more of the same
I
since
feel
last
like
time?
I'm not going to give my opinion because I'm just going to have a whole bunch of random haters move from TikTok to Instagram to send me a direct message talking a whole bunch of racist nonsense. So I'm just going to sit this one out and not say anything. So
No, you can't let them win. You can't let the haters win.
So the show is trash. It's like
I just think there's like a really annoying fan base for the Alien franchise. I mean, I feel like it's kind of prevalent in a lot of sci-fi, a lot of like male-dominated genres where if you have a different opinion than them, or if you don't feel like you're that invested in the lore and the world building, but you like other aspects of it, these dudes, they get so butthurt and bitchy.
They're
for
just like,
nothing.
I hate women, you're stupid.
Yeah,
like,
and they turn to like racist comments, misogynistic comments.
That was like my first hate comment ever on this podcast. Like,
yeah.
I've never had any. I was just like, it was really funny, and it's just like I really wanted to go in, but it's not worth it because this person who sent those hateful messages, they literally sit on TikTok hiding their face and just critiquing anybody who disagrees with them.
That is a
like,
sad life to live.
It really is. So I was just
bro,
like, I don't think it's a point. I mean, we were going to put out a video about it, but I was just like, at the end of the day, I was like, it doesn't matter because
there's going to be more of those haters
there's
that
gonna
are
be
irrational.
More. Yeah. And the funny thing is, people are judging anything that we say off of like a 30-second, maybe 60-second clip. And it's just like, watch our whole episode, guys. Watch the full episode. Hear what we think. It's our opinion. We're just talking. If you have a differing opinion, put it in the comments. We like chatting with people. Let's do that. But for you to just be like, oh, I'm going to like secretly go to their other social media and I'm going to send this message. I don't know. I felt like he thought you were going to be like, yeah, man, she's a bitch.
I don't understand how that was supposed to go for this hater.
I don't either. So that's why it just wasn't worth it. But
that's why bigots are dumb as fuck.
They really are. They make it not worth it. I mean, I like alien movies. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I'm not invested big fan, but I can appreciate what they're doing. It seems like a lot of people are happy with this series so far and what they're doing.
Episode 4 was really interesting. I like that it just took the time to just slow down after all the events that happened with that crashed spaceship.
Yeah.
And just really sit with the characters, especially with sitting with Wendy, learning Xenonese. That's what I'm going to call it now, is just Xenonese, because she can speak Xenomorph.
Yeah.
I don't understand where this is going to go with this character. Like,
I want to know why, like, how does that work?
Yeah.
What caused her to, like,
pick up on this?
Yeah.
She's already got, like, godlike powers where she could manipulate machines through far distances.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe it's not so far-fetched that she would be able to pick up on a alien language and then slowly start to mimic it.
pickuping on the language is fine, but she has like this weird like connection, like this mind thing going on.
She got Google Translate.
That doesn't make any sense to me. I'm fine with her like, oh, she heard the creature like make sounds and maybe that downloaded to her little brain or something. I don't know. But the fact that you're feeling their pain, how does that
That's
work?
another level. It's not
I
just...
hope they can explain that.
Yeah.
Or like
yeah.
give some reason to that because that she's special. She's supposed to be like the special one out of all the kids. But
more than Curly.
Yeah. Damn, why you keep coming
When Boy Cavalier just threw that stray at her, he's like, yeah, you can speak French, but can you do this?
That was so disrespectful. I think that was the highlight of that episode for me. I was just like, wait, what?
I had to pause the episode and just get it out of me.
I wasn't paying full attention, but when I said, wait, what did he say? And you replayed it, and I was just like, he's so disrespectful. Just wow, yeah. She's there learning all these languages, and he's just like,
and he literally tells her go push some buttons and knobs, and she literally goes to do it like in a quiet corner.
That's so
takes it literally.
She gonna beat up Wendy. She gonna try to kill Wendy or like fight her or sabotage her or something like that.
She needs to take that on Boy Cavalier. I can't with this man.
She won't. She wants to be like, yeah. I don't know.
Girl.
I just thought that was really funny. I was like, he's so disrespectful. But
yeah,
I'm really curious as to how they're going to explain that. I want them to. I need an explanation for that because everything else she's been doing is kind of just like, that's weird. But then she's technically like this hybrid, human cyborg type of thing or whatever. So that would make sense. But her feeling what they're feeling, I can't understand that.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that goes beyond anything Alien has done.
I'm going back to my theory. I think she's going to set these aliens free. Because even later on, when she's having a conversation with Boy Cavalier one-on-one, she's basically kind of throwing the idea of like, I think we should let these aliens go.
He's like, bitch.
He's like, no, we should let your brother go.
Nah, they own that.
And Boy Cavalier refuses to have an honest moral conversation about what they're doing right now, which in a sense I think is a level of intellect that Wendy has that Boy Cavalier doesn't have. I don't think he has any sort of emotional intelligence. He thinks everything is a joke. He thinks everything is fun. He thinks he's in control of everything.
I mean, for the most part, yeah. I mean, until you bring in these aliens, that's when everybody really loses control. And it's funny. I know we haven't got to episode 5, but that's the thing is all the people in these shows, they think they have control. And in thinking that, they get very lax and they make stupid, poor protocol needing decisions.
Yeah.
And that's how everybody gets like fucked, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I feel like season 1's going to end up with all of this blowing up in Boy Cavalier's face.
It has to. Yeah.
I predict that this whole company is going to go down by the end of season 1. If they plan for more seasons, I bet you they're just going to focus on other companies each season. I can't imagine Prodigy staying around for long with the way that he's just so lax about this stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know what he wants to do with exploiting Wendy's ability to speak with the alien creatures, but I think I can guarantee it's not going to go in his favor. Especially at the end when we see that she's petting a freaking little baby Xenomorph. Like, she has a pet now.
And what's your friend's name? He was watching that shit.
Kirsh.
Yeah, I can't.
Kirsh is he's in the background just like.
He's watching that. He's listening to, what's the little one's
Morrow
name? Morrow and Slightly's conversations.
He's letting things happen.
Yeah.
He's watching chess pieces move and he's just waiting.
Which I'm like, he is supposed to work for a boy, right?
Yes.
So I'm like, does somebody else have their software in him or something like that? Like,
I think it's all him.
Oh, you think it's all him?
It's all him. So because remember in previous movies, we see that the synthetics can sometimes break protocol and almost have their own consciousness.
That is true.
Especially with like Prometheus and the other prequel movies where an android just goes completely ballistic because they have their own free will and their own desires. I feel like they're kind of doing that with Kirsh. There's no reason for him to let this messaging slide between Slightly and Morrow and then just letting certain information not get out to Boy Cavalier, especially witnessing the Xenomorph being like chummy with Wendy.
You think he's gonna let Boy get got by whichever He
might get egged.
Eggs.
I think he'll get egged. He'll get face huggered.
Yeah, I feel like, because I mean, he sent him out of the lab that one time, but that was before hearing Morrow and Slightly's conversation, right? And
if you remember, there's a shot of Kirsh witnessing the egg unfurl slowly before he pushes Kavalier out of the office. Yeah. So he's witnessing and he's learning to see what these things are like made of, how they work, how they function. he's seeing what triggers these eggs.
Yeah.
You see that there are scenes where he has some fighting words against Boy Cavalier when he disagrees with something, and Boy Cavalier just dismisses him. So I feel like he's biding his time and waiting to take this boy down. And I think he's going to use the facehugger, because Slightly is trying to smuggle an egg, or at least one of the facehuggers, back to Morrow. And I think he's choosing Wendy's brother, Joe. But I think it's going to end up being like Boy Cavalier or someone else entirely.
Yeah, it's either going to be him or that other guy with the wife.
Arthur.
His name's Arthur. I don't know anybody's name, so excuse that. You're going to get some weird descriptions here.
Poor Arthur. He's one of the only moral like characters in the show.
He's like, what's his face from Jurassic? He's just like...
Oh, Jeff Goldblum's character. Your scientists stopped to consider whether they could, and they never stopped to consider if they should.
Exactly. That's what he's on right now. And his wife's just like, you want some pancakes? And
no, he should say, you want dumplings?
Dumplings, whatever. Yeah. And I'm just like, what? I mean, like, yes, that would probably get me too, but...
I think the two scientists have a very interesting dynamic. I don't know if you've noticed this, but I feel like the wife is taking on like the typical manly stoic figure that we see in a lot of horror movies, sci-fi movies, where the man is usually telling the woman to just dismiss their fears and concerns that should clearly be addressed. This time around, it's a woman that's telling him, oh, it's okay, sweetheart, we'll talk about it over dinner. I'll get you dumplings. You know, dumplings is your favorite. Arthur's like in the middle of an emotional breakdown because he's seriously concerned about Wendy picking up this new skill, and they're just going to run with it and not take more tests and figure out what exactly is going on.
Yeah. It's interesting that you say that. Like, she's like, the roles seem reversed with her, because she's definitely attached to the children.
Yeah.
I feel like she's very motherly with them. So, I don't know. It's kind of weird. She keeps being motherly with them, and then Boy's just like, you do know they're just like robots, like they're not, you know. But they still need to be nurtured. They're still like, within them, they're still children, even though they can do all these things, and they're experiencing all these things as well. But she's also just like, oh yeah, no, like if you need anything, or you know, you want to talk, that sort of stuff, which he's just like, that's not necessary.
It's not
like,
productive. It's useless.
Yeah. So it's just like, how do you expect to have like this amazing, brilliant conversation that you're looking for with these kids one day, and you refuse to nurture them? Like,
you don't treat them as people.
You don't. Yeah.
So that's what you need.
I'm so confused on that part. So I feel like I don't know, whatever he wants has shifted now that the aliens are in there and he's got a hold of them.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, do these kids not matter, or do they only matter to maybe like get him more aliens, or you know, what
does he want with these damn aliens? Like, he's collecting them like Pokemon.
I just know that he's like an asshole, and he's got a lot of money, and he's in control of a lot of things, but I worry that I'm kind of just like, I don't know what his goal is, and I don't feel like that kind of, now that I think about it, I don't feel like it matters, because you have Kirsh. What is his goal? Morrow, what is his goal? Wendy's brother. I feel like I'm more interested in what they're doing, even though this guy is clearly the one in charge.
Yeah.
You know, at least financially and power-wise. But I'm just like, I don't know what you want, so I'm not interested. And that's kind of like annoying me, where I'm kind of like overlooking his character, and I'm just waiting for him to die.
I have the same critique. I was just gonna say, I wish I had a better understanding of Boy Cavalier's inner, like, I don't know, like inner world, inner mechanisms of like, why does he do what he do?
He's just like that typical, like, that rich people are bored.
You can make characters like that interesting. Like, you can give us a backstory of why does he feel so like isolated from everybody. He clearly can't hold a regular relationship with any person.
Yeah.
I'd like to see a moment of him, I don't know, being at a party with other rich people and feeling like he still can't fit in, because he's just so fixated on trying to find someone as smart as him or even smarter. Like, I don't want to see the stereotypical, like, oh, what if this was like Elon Musk, but he was actually kind of smart? It's like, I want something a little less shallow with this character. I think they could do more. We still have a couple episodes left, so we might get more meat on this character, but I would really like to get a whole backstory of what makes this guy tick and what makes him so obsessed with immortality, with being like the smartest, most powerful person possible, and finding someone like him. And then what the hell does he expect to do with these aliens too? Like, are you just gonna weaponize them? Are you gonna make some sort of profit off of these? Like, I think they made him interesting enough. Like, he's like a young adult or a teenager that is a trillionaire, and he takes everything as like a joke. I feel like we should explore that character more heavily. That would make him more interesting, because we're doing that with all the other characters. Like you said, Morrow, We're getting a better understanding of him. I feel like he's the star of the show, honestly. He's my protagonist. Wendy is getting more interesting, especially now that her and Joe are together. And then Joe is struggling to figure out, well, what do I do with my life? Because now I'm stuck with this company.
He need to give them back that lung and just send that shit to collections, because like, I'm so triggered by how he's being treated just because, oh man. Yeah,
that conversation that Joe had with I think the character's name is Adam Ein. He's like some senior staff member. I don't think they ever specify his position. Evil bald guy with a British accent. That's what I call him. And they have a really interesting conversation about Wendy, because he's trying to collect her and just move on from this and not work for Prodigy, because we saw earlier he was trying to put in his 2 weeks notice to go to college.
No, thank you. I don't appreciate that. We don't do that here.
He's trying to do this again, and this man just goes, okay, you could quit if you want, but just know you're gonna get billed for that lung, and you're never gonna see your sister again. And let me reword that. You're never going to see the unit that you call your sister ever again. This dude is throwing this slur at this transhuman, is what we're calling him at this point, because he mentions the term transhuman, which I think is really interesting. And Joe is just really like stuck in a corner. He's really stuck with having to work the rest of his life, which I know damn well he's not going to pay off that long. There's going to be interest on top of that.
Yeah.
How did you feel about that whole conversation?
I hated it. I was so mad. I was so triggered. That's why I said send that shit to collections. Like, I don't know. Like, either walk out of there, bust out of there, or give them back the lung. I don't know. It's really messed up. So I'm really looking forward to what Joe's gonna do. How will he get Wendy, and will they get out of there together? How is that whole thing gonna work? I really feel like everything's gonna fall apart. Boy's gonna get got, and that's good, but it obviously doesn't end there. Because
there's 4 other companies that control the entire planet.
Yeah.
Like, so everyone's oppressed.
It's like, what happens if something happens to Boy? Like, we don't even know what happens there. I don't think Joe's going to be off scot-free, and, you know, the debt for the lungs going to be done.
The whole company would have to just go bankrupt and close and die.
Yeah, and it's just like, what happens to these kids? Because she's, what did he call her? Like an item or something like that?
Yeah, just a unit, a piece of property.
Yeah, so it's just, if the company goes bankrupt, if it goes down, do we have to destroy all that it's created and made? Because then that means them. But then there's also the thing, well, these were actual humans that we put in there. They have memories. They had past lives. We just gave them a new body. They're in a new shell. So are we killing somebody? I mean, I'm pretty sure these companies have no problem. There's probably so many people that have died underneath, their watch. But that's a problem for me.
Yeah.
Like, you're killing people. I consider them people.
I consider them people too, and I love that they finally get into that conversation about what it means to be human in this world. Because Joe is convinced, no, this is Marcy, my sister.
Yeah.
And Adam is like, no, she's not your sister, not anymore. And the main question that we're trying to figure out is this still the person that you knew before she transitioned? And I love that they're finally exploring that question. And I love that they have 2 characters on just directly opposing sides. This person is just all about business. He just cares about the practical. And then he's trying to figure out with the company the philosophical part of like, okay, how human are these things? Can we control them? What can we do with them? And then Joe is convinced, no, this is my sister. She's a person. She's still human. And I can't help but just side on Joe, like with Joe's side, because I still see them as people. There's a whole like discussion that you can have, and you can make so many arguments that they're probably not human anymore. But does that take away from the fact that they're still people? Like, they still have their feelings, they still have consciousness, they have their memories and experiences from when they were in their human bodies. That's not something that you just create with an algorithm. That's not something that you create with programming. You use like some technology to help transfer that whole life into a new physical thing. And you're calling it transhuman. So I feel like you're insinuating that you're still keeping humanity. You're just evolving it at the way that Adam described it. So I think you can argue for the fact that these people are probably not human anymore, but I feel like there's way more convincing argument that no, these are still humans. These are still people.
Because I'm just seeing it as their souls were transferred to something else. Like, if you want to be like, oh, well, the body, like, that can be upgraded. Like, when she was having trouble with the hearing, they were like slowly adjusting it so that way she could like listen to what the alien was saying. I just feel like, how could you not call this human, I feel like they're still they can only move children right now. These children have to learn and develop. It sounds like they'll be able to grow up. I mean, not physically, but mentally, they have to do that. She has feelings, like she wants to see her brother. Like if she was in total control, they would be like, we're going to erase these sort of memories, these sort of things. But you didn't create a synthetic that you can control and program that can be reset. I mean, maybe she could be reset. I don't know. But that's just, I feel like at that point, that's not resetting. That's erasing.
Yeah.
What are you going to...
They don't have no intention of doing that.
What could you possibly reset? What, do you just start her again from the moment you took this sick child and put her into this body? That's still her, you know? So I really do feel like they can live forever as long as you have what's been downloaded, I want to say.
And get the right iOS software updates.
Yeah. But I feel like that's... You kind of kept her living forever as long as she's, I don't know, on a USB drive or something like that. Yeah. She's there forever. You just have to put her in someone so that way you can communicate and talk with her. Will you be able to, I don't know, have her learn and develop whatever they've done there? That's still a person. Because if you do it again and you put her in a new environment, she'll grow up to be a different person. So this situation that she's in, like, what did you say? Joe doesn't know if that's, or Joe believes that's his sister. Just think of it as they're siblings that haven't seen each other for years. Yeah. She's going to be different from how he last remembered her. I feel like that's how he's feeling. Like, okay, he realized this is my sister.
Yeah, because the personality itself is still the same.
Exactly. She has the memories, and they connected through that. Yeah. All he doesn't know is he doesn't know this form, and he doesn't know what she's been doing since the last time he saw her. Yeah. I feel like, how could you say anything different? Yeah. That's just siblings that haven't seen each other in a long time. Family that hasn't seen each other in a long time. Yeah, you're not going to know each other. Whether it's family or friends you haven't seen, people change and become something else. That's what happened there. So for them to be like, yeah, that's not your sister, that's unit 12556. It's just like, crazy. You know, I can't. There's a reason why she wanted to go see him. Yeah. There's a reason why, you know, and I don't know how the other children are feeling about their families, because we have that situation with Slightly. Yeah. And Morrow's a dog. But, you know, with Morrow basically like, oh, what's your first name, your last name? And then he goes and he finds Slightly's family, who believed him to be dead, basically. Yeah. They have a whole family. They remember worlds. This. So I don't know if the children were ever longing or wishing to go see, if they were just told, no, you can't. Your old life, this is your new home. You stay here. Forget about it.
They were basically told that.
That's what they were told. So you have that going on, and they can't do that. Why didn't you just wipe that from them? Because you can't. That's them. They can't just forget that. You can't make them forget that unless you really just do something else completely different, like program them. Only take bits and pieces that you want. But no, you took this whole child and put them there. Yeah. You know? And I also wonder if the only children are able to be transferred is like real, because what if it's like you can't transfer an adult because they're like a whole person that can't be molded, that can't be shaped.
I think that's the main reason. I think that was kind of the explanation, is because remember in episode 1, Wendy explains, because I'm paraphrasing here, but basically she mentions adults are too rigid. Our minds are more flexible.
I feel like we that's can just molding them.
It's more manipulative.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I was thinking. I was like,
you get too much pushback if you get an adult with already a set established
they wake
set
up
of
and they're
values.
just like, well, I'm out of here. Like, yeah. And I could decide that and just leave. But these kids, they literally have nowhere to go. Yeah. So they're just like, I can't just leave. I have to stay here. And it's like a daycare of like little baby hybrids, you know?
But I will say, I think Boy Kavalier also brings up a really other interesting aspect of why he chose children. He wants their unbridled imagination, like their infinite capacity for creativity, because as you get older you start losing that as you start experiencing things. When you experience rejection and social norms and all that stuff, you don't have that level of creativity and open-mindedness that you would have when you were like 5 or 6 years old, where you're not learning anything about the world yet. Yeah. I think he's acknowledging that there are limits to what adults can imagine in terms of what they can learn, what can they discover, and that's why he's so obsessed with Wendy with this Xenomorph language that she's learning. Yeah. He could have never come across the Xenomorph language without someone like Wendy. He couldn't have done it. None of his most brilliant scientists probably couldn't have figured that out. I think part of it is not just being able to morph and manipulate these kids to make them do whatever they want to do, But it's also the fact that there's a ceiling that these scientists have hit, and that they need these children in order to break that ceiling. And Wendy learning this language is one of those things. The fact that she's basically able to tame this thing, that is extremely freaky and scary and dangerous. That's not something we've ever seen in the Alien universe.
Yeah.
So I'm really curious to see where they go with that. But all that to say is, I agree with you that these kids, they're people. Like you mentioned earlier with Morrow and Slightly, when they start to get to know each other and they start going by each other's first names, that's Morrow manipulating these kids so that he can get these aliens back.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's using Slightly's mom against him, and you see, I want to call him Arush now, because like I feel like once he reveals his name, we get to learn more about him as a person. Arush being able to speak with his mom after previously he just never expected to ever make contact with his family ever again.
Yeah.
And you see the way that he breaks emotionally, and he's just willing to do anything at this point, where before he was backing out. He's like, I can't do this. I'm sorry. I tried, but I don't think I can get an alien out. And then once he comes into contact with his mom and is faced with the fact that Morrow is like threatening this woman's life.
And his whole family. I think some of them came back while he was
because he
there.
has brothers.
Yeah.
That is not something that a non-human like is focused on. That is way too human.
Yeah, like the previous episodes where Morrow is just like, oh, would you, protect your, do anything to protect so-and-so? They're like, oh, yeah, like my parents and stuff. So
he's fishing.
Yeah, he was fishing.
Master manipulator.
He, like, there we go. Like, that's...
He quickly understands, oh, these people are more human than synthetics. These are not just synthetics. So Nibs announcing her pregnancy.
Why you say it like that?
Because that's what she did. How do you feel about it?
She's just weird. She's always weird to me. She's clearly going through something, I guess. I just thought it was funny how they're just like, honey, you can't. She's like, what? I can't what? What do you mean I'm pregnant? And
Arthur lets it slip. He's like, you're just a machine. She's like, I'm a what?
Disrespectful. Called her a clanker. Yeah, I don't know. I'm really curious. It's very strange. I don't know if she's just traumatized from them going in, being told to go, like, I don't know, rescue mission or capture or whatever. And then she almost got eyeballed, right? It was the eyeball that went after her.
Yeah. I think that really did her in.
Yeah.
I think that collapsed her mind.
Which, they're human.
I didn't see any robots get traumatized in this franchise before.
They're human and they're children. So it only makes sense. But I say it only makes sense, but I was also like, why did she pick like, oh, I'm pregnant? What? Like, I thought that maybe something was growing inside her, like maybe she had, but then so because they're like these hybrids, how much would the aliens go after them?
Well, we've seen in the last couple episodes, they completely ignore the hybrids because they're fully synthetic bodies. Even though the consciousness is human, they're not interested in that. They want meat. Do you think it's possible
she's connected?
We haven't seen anything to hint at that, so I don't think so. I think Wendy's just the only one. I think, for me, I think it's just the weight, the pressure of that mission, the fact that these are children that went into a dangerous, basically like a war zone. That really broke her. Yeah. And I think it's her announcing her pregnancy. I think it's her trying to connect to her humanity because she keeps fighting against the word machine. She doesn't want to be called a machine. And she also doesn't want to talk about the event that happened in that building. Whenever Dame Sylvia tries to ask her about the mission, she says, I don't want to talk about that. And she's stern about it to the point where she gets violent with her when she pushes too hard. She's not processing this trauma properly. So.
I don't think she's processed the transition she did anyway.
I don't think so either.
You remember when they were all doing it and you saw she was watching the next kid be transferred and she's just really paying attention and watching it. You could see there was like something going on in her mind about what was going on and how this whole process works. So we never really see them. I guess sometimes we have some of the kids, they sit down together and they have questions like, oh, why is Wendy like the favorite or whatever? It's because she's the first.
But we never stay on that long enough.
Yeah, I want to hear or see what each one is really feeling about it. Some of them just go along with it like, oh, well, this is who I am now. This is my new body. I'm all better and I'm going to go press some buttons over here. Like, I really feel like the whole process isn't sitting well with her, which makes me wonder too, okay, you decided you're going to take sick dying children and do this transfer for them. But is there more to it? Because they had Wendy a little bit longer, and then they just had this group of kids, and they're like, okay, we're gonna, transfer you all. Do you have to evaluate them a little bit longer? Do you have to see where they are mentally? Do you have to run any sort of different tests?
That's kind of what Arthur was arguing for. They're not doing that. Arthur was bringing up that concern with his wife.
Yeah.
And they're skipping all that.
You mentioned before how what Boy wants is these untouched children with all this creative potential, but I feel like that's kind of hard to have children with all this creativity that they could potentially have, but you pick children that were dying, and I feel like that's a lot for a kid. That kind of takes you out of the innocence because they're children having to cope with the fact that they are dying. So I feel like that kind of chips away at their innocence. Some kids, I do believe, they are really sick, and they still may have that innocence, but I don't feel like that's like true. If a child knows that they're dying, I feel that kind of takes away, and that becomes their whole focus of them being sick or them not having long enough. So you chose children that I feel like are already processing something very weighted,
and they're children that had lives. It's not like they were like street kids that had no connections.
So they had lives, like you said. They have these connections with their families, they had friends, and they were just taken away. And then when one of them says, oh yeah, are we gonna go home or something like that, and Wendy's like, no, this is your home, so they spent more time with Wendy. I felt like they spent more time prepping her. So for Nibs to be whatever this is that she's dealing with right now, it makes sense, but I find it very interesting that her character is the one that's really having a hard time coping. I feel like some of them are slightly. He's dealing with the fact that he's connected to his family still, and he's caring. He's able to reach out to his family through Morrow. That's his humanity. That's him breaking. That's him, you see, that's what he's dealing with right now. Knowing that he's in a really messed up situation with these creatures that are dangerous, and you want me to capture one, or you're going to hurt my family, or I have to now hurt someone. You're asking a child to hurt someone in order to protect it. So it's really messed up how they're manipulating these children, and how they're not taking the time to nurture them and to help them cope with what they've been thrust into.
I'm curious to see what they're going to do with Nibs, because they have her on lockdown basically after that.
Yeah, she had to press
incident.
her panic button. She's like, yeah, you want some tea? Like,
bitch, no. I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
My hormones. So.
Yeah, that was just, it was really interesting. I wonder how they're going to proceed with Nibs and what's going on with her, because I
hope she has a better outcome. I don't want her to be a tragic character. These kids, none of them deserve what they're going through.
Yeah. For episode 5, I was kind of surprised that they were doing like what happens on the ship.
Yeah,
I didn't think they were. Yeah,
I didn't think it was necessary with like the whole like the quick cut version of it, and like in the first 2 episodes. It
gave us a decent enough of an idea of what happened on the ship. I guess the only question was why Morrow let everybody die. And at the time, I don't know if you knew already, because you mentioned how he was sweating, like from the last moment when, the Xenomorph came and was trying to get to him. But I was also just like, wait, why is the alien trying to go after him if he's just a synthetic? And I didn't even put it together at the very beginning. But I thought this was really interesting to see how everything played out. And again, people who think they're in control are stupid when it comes to foreign like things, like species. It's just, it made me so mad. I was so annoyed, but I was just like, they all deserved it. Like, I really just...
Damn.
I'm sorry.
I don't know if I'll go as far as to say as they deserved it. Some of the stuff they did was really fucking stupid, but for me to say that they deserved it...
Okay, some of them died in their sleep, so I guess those people didn't deserve it, but I just... The people that were... Okay, so for this hour that we saw, we got this movie... I'm just like, have y'all never watched Alien before? Like, I don't know.
You know damn well they're in universe. I mean, they got Ice Age, so yeah, maybe the first Alien movie came out at some point.
Maybe, I don't know, but no, I'm joking. I just couldn't believe it. I was just like, every time I watch an Alien movie, these people are stupid. Like, just
that's a common trope at this point. It's like you have to accept all the characters are gonna do stupid shit, no matter how annoying it is. And I knew this full hour episode was gonna be chock full of stupid decisions. I just knew it. It's just baked into the DNA.
I was rooting for the aliens. I'm like, at that point, I was rooting for the aliens for real, because come on, they're just not paying attention. You got these, you clearly have them locked up in these cases and these cages for a reason. You can't just,
They mentioned the Xenomorph baby was loose, and not once do we see a scene of them hunting for it. They're too busy trying to...
They tried to, and then what happened? They were just trying to get that alien off of the facehuggers off.
The problem is they also had a saboteur, and they had to fix the spaceship. That was like a crucial thing.
Among Us and Alien all up in one, and I was so annoyed and stressed out. I was rooting for them, especially the little eyeball. That eyeball's a snake too. Like I know
Taco P's original.
He's a little flip flopper. With that scene where he's banging on the glass trying to warn her about the other alien that got out.
It wasn't a warning. He's just like, listen, I need you, lady. I need you to get me out.
See, but he's trying to use people and stuff. But
him and Morrow would get along.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it was a hot mess all around. Then you got the romance drama with the girl and then the captain, and you got the person who's sabotaging them. And wasn't it Boy
Kavalier set up the whole sabotage.
So did he know about the aliens, or he was sabotaging Weyland, right? Is that
he was sabotaging Weyland? I'm pretty sure he was aware that they were carrying species,
but he didn't really know what.
He didn't know much about them.
Okay.
So all we know is that he wanted those aliens, and that he manipulated this one crew member to sabotage the ship
with the transfer. The promise of being transferred, right?
Yes, yeah, exactly, to a new body. So that was a really interesting reveal. So it sounds like he did know about the whole.
He's been there kind of since
day one. Yeah. He knew about the aliens coming to Earth. So that recontextualized episode 1 with the ship crashing, conveniently scraping the Prodigy building.
That's why he's like, oh yeah, you hit my property, finders keepers type of shit. And okay, it's all coming together, guys. I get it.
Which that's a very impossible thing to orchestrate perfectly, but he did it. So, and I love that one of the characters, Dr. Rahim, he says a line that just perfectly encapsulates the theme of this episode and the theme of just Alien as a whole, where he basically goes, this space bug is proof of how stupid smart people can be. Where he goes on to this whole rant about like how we've been able to put people on spaceships, we can split the atom, we can diagnose people with diseases, but somehow we're still stupid enough to bring a parasite back home. And I'm just like, buddy, you part of this. I know you're saying it, but you're not Jeff Goldblum right now.
Oh man.
I just love that they just went meta and they basically just said the quiet thing out loud.
Yeah.
Because the entire time, it's just like, this is fucked. You've got 2 people that are face-huggered. You killed one of them by accident trying to remove this thing. There's an alien on the loose, and you can't even fully focus on that because now you've got a crew member that sabotaged your ship, and that is your main focus right now. I love seeing like this beautiful mess. And the reason why I feel like I have a hard time saying that these people deserve what happened to them is because Prodigy themselves is like the true villain. Like these people that are working these jobs, I highly doubt that they had options to go live fulfilling lives with different careers that they were like passionate about. We've seen time and time again how we see a lot of people that are just trapped for working for Weyland-Yutani or Prodigy or some of the other companies. We don't get a sense of what the world is like for like regular people. I mean, there's movies that exist, so I guess movie directors exist.
Yeah.
But for people that don't have the privilege and comfort to do the jobs that they're passionate about, and they have to go into these hard labor jobs, whether it's like being a space trucker like in the first Alien movie, or being these scientists, researchers like in this episode, where they're forced to go to a damn moon and retrieve aliens, and they have no idea what they're going into.
I mean, the main problem, it's not them, but whatever these corporations in charge or whatever, they need to do some evaluations. They need to do some matchmaking and stuff, because they just we need a scientist, we need an engineer,
have all that. They have those people.
These people don't mesh well together. They don't. You have like some weird creepy like pervs on there like caressing
Mr.
people's
Tang.
Sleeping pods.
I wish we got more of this guy, because clearly he's someone that is a creep, that he keeps holding his hand over that woman in the sleeping capsule.
That's weird. Like, we need background checks. No, I'm like serious.
Yeah,
we need.
I don't even think they got HR.
They don't. But it's just That's why I'm like, okay, you're right. Maybe they don't deserve it, but they kind of do, because you guys...
There's some sketchy individuals for sure.
There are some sketchy individuals up there, and then you guys just, what you're dealing with. Maybe you don't. Okay, these parasites, you went to a different... You brought these creatures on, and you're not being careful. Like, you're here, like, playing with things, like, oh, it's so cute, like it's a Labubu or something like that. It's just like, no. You are dealing with something that's literally eating like raw, dead flesh or live flesh. What's her face? The chick that looks like she's from the 70s.
Chibuzo.
Yeah.
70s lady.
Yeah, she's like, they're like having so much fun watching it eat like dead rats or live animals.
Meanwhile, she's got her food out, her open water bottle.
Yeah.
I've never closed my water bottle so fast.
I know, I left my water bottle open the other day, and he's just like, did you not watch the episode?
You don't want tadpole swimming in you.
Oh my gosh. No, yeah, but she's there playing around like it's this cute thing, and then she's getting distracted. It's like, you have them in cages for a reason, and you don't know anything about them. They're learning. The eyeball one, he's watching everything, and even the little parasite one was able to learn something, and he's able to open the latch.
Yeah.
Like, what? Yeah, maybe you weren't expecting that, but I don't know how long you've been watching these things, but you don't know anything about them. I don't know if you thought they were just like regular bugs or whatever. It's not that. Y'all don't know what you're dealing with, so you need to be extra careful. So when she gets distracted, the thing is able to open the latch, crawl out, shit in her fucking water, basically. Lord, lay eggs in her water. And, she doesn't even notice until another guy comes in. He's just like, oh shit, it's out. And they were able to put it back in. Mm-hmm. You don't know what it did, clearly, for the time that it was out, or what it could have done to you. You were like, oh shit. She was like, oh my God. Mm-hmm. Puts it away, closes the latch all the way. But I'm like, how did you like not close it all the way? Because there's like another part to it that she didn't add while she was there playing with it. And when she's leaving the room, she puts the eyeball back in the wall in the case, doesn't check for it to turn green to make sure everything's latched in and properly. Like,
Yep.
Come
on. It's a lot of oversight.
It just, that's why I'm like, they fucking deserve it, because like, come on. Yes, you're being called to another room, but also let's not compromise this room and the rest of the fucking ship just so you can go see something that you clearly can't do anything about. I don't know. I'm getting really upset because they're just stupid. I just feel like they're stupid.
Yeah, I will shoot them some bail in respect to like some of the aliens we're dealing with. They're just too powerful and too smart. The facehugger that got out, there was no way to defend against that. There's at some point with these movies or shows, an alien is always able to get the upper hand no matter how careful someone's trying to be. I think that's also like, that is basically the main problem. Yes, there are people that do really stupid decisions or are not paying attention. That is a huge problem for sure. But I also feel like if they wrote the characters to be as careful as possible, they were also going to write a moment where there was just something they couldn't control, no matter how careful they were. Because I think this show's trying to emphasize, again, with this episode, humans cannot control these things. We think that we have these things under control. The fact that they were able to encase all of these things without like a severe loss of casualties, that is pretty amazing. But then they paid the price later with these things getting out, and one by one, everyone's getting taken out.
I feel like that's why they always put a synthetic or something like that on board, because they're gonna fuck up. Because I don't know, I'm just saying, if I was there, I would secretly be shooting all these motherfuckers out into space. I'm like, face hugged, goodbye. Face hug, reject. Face hug, we're done.
They ejected at least one body.
They should have done a couple more of them. Like, that's, it's just, it's so stupid.
But I think I think the main theme here is that these people were always in over their heads. Even the companies themselves, who are all powerful, or they think they're all powerful, they're messing with a force that they know nothing about. No matter how capable your staff may be, how advanced your equipment is, somehow, some way, an alien is going to get loose.
And they keep doing it over and over again. Yeah. Like, I mean, that's why we have all these movies.
Otherwise, the story doesn't happen.
Yeah, like, these people are disposable to them. They're just going to get a new crew, send them to a new spot, wherever they last left this. That's what's just going to keep happening. It's so funny. I'm like, why are you guys so obsessed with these particular... It's clearly not working. Like, it's clear. How many crews have you sent to do this?
Yeah.
And it's not working out, or some weird special thing happens,
That's the thing that gets me, man. The fact that there's a programming in the spaceship that tells you are expendable. These alien life forms take priority over your own life. That's why the Zoya character, the woman, she was so pissed when she was in that mother computer room.
She's like, fuck you.
And she had to, she hesitated to acknowledge the protocol. And the fact that the computer would just tell, like, just straight up, acknowledge or else the security officer is going to take over, which is Morrow. And that's the last thing that she wants. It's like, will you acknowledge that your life means less than these aliens? And then she has no choice but to type it.
I would eject Morrow too. That's what I would have done. Face hugger, everybody face hugger and Morrow.
That would deduct from her paycheck.
I don't give a shit.
I love that we get more context with Morrow in this episode. We get more backstory with the fact that he does have a daughter, or he had a daughter.
He had a daughter.
And it was revealed that, sadly, the daughter died at, she was like, what, 18 or 19 when she passed away from a fire?
Yeah.
You have suspicions about her death. What are your suspicions here?
So, them people done did it?
Them people, by you mean what? Prodigy?
All of them. Tawny, Prodigy, whoever the heck else is out there, they done did it. And I don't know, it just seems a little... I don't think he was going to be able to turn around right away. I felt like from the moment he went on this mission, he knew he'd be away for...
Yeah, for 60 years.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's just like, they're like, we're going to just kill her just so he has nothing to come back to. But I'm like, I'm pretty sure by the time he got back, she could have been alive still, you know.
She could have been of old age.
Yeah, she could have been of old
also
age.
Died.
But she could have died naturally without them having killed her. I know they did it.
So they fast forward the process so that they can just get that over with.
But it's just...
Interesting. So you really think that they intentionally did something?
I feel like it. And they're just like, you could come pick up her shit in locker 2544. And like when you get back or whatever, it'll be here.
That was wild.
So yeah, it just seems a little weird to do that. I don't know if it was like, oh, we don't want him to have any attachment, so his main focus is just the mission that he's on, that we set him on. But I don't know, it didn't sit right with me. You didn't feel like maybe...
I didn't think about it at first until you mentioned it, but I mean, these companies are fucking pure evil. We've seen that firsthand, so I wouldn't put it past them. I still don't think that's what's going on, but if they do reveal that that's the case, I won't be very shocked. That might be very in line with what they do. Because there is a mention that Morrow was taken in as an orphan, so like since childhood they've had him.
Yeah.
So I feel like a company like Prodigy would try to limit the amount of life he does have outside the company so that he's not so emotionally compromised to carry out his missions moving forward. Because they took him in for a reason. They took him in because I don't know if he's like the first ever cyborg. We haven't seen other cyborgs yet. I paused for a bit to read the notes that the daughter had written to him, and she mentioned that she basically wants to go to like old world colleges like Harvard, insinuating that Weyland-Yutani has regions in the US where they control education and they control the funding. They'll cover certain schools, but they won't cover places like Harvard, which is interesting probably because this is a school that can't be censored. And I think like Prodigy would want to censor the education of the children of their employees. So she asks him, like, how important are you? Because I have a friend that is going to go to school for, I think he said Prodigy or Weyland-Yutani. It's Weyland-Yutani. They're working for Weyland-Yutani. And she goes, my friend doesn't even get full coverage. But for me, they're offering me a full ride because of you.
Yeah.
And so she asks, how important are you? And it sounds like there's a huge emphasis on keeping Morrow around for as long as possible. So he might be the only cyborg ever. And maybe they would do something like kill off the daughter to cut off any more ties to like his humanity. Because that's like the whole thing with this character is he described himself as all the worst parts of a man kept together. And then also like with the parts of machinery. The more I think about it now, I'm thinking maybe you're probably right. I think Weyland-Yutani probably did murder this child so that they could get rid of his humanity and keep him as like their soldier.
Yeah.
To keep that purpose in him to just keep working for the company.
Because I mean, why else does he keep going? I mean, we saw the clip of him like there and he's just like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this. And he's like, nah, you don't got to. He's like, nope. Give me my shit so I could give me the tools and I'm gonna go do this. And they're just like, I guess we gotta go let him do it. I don't know. Like, it just like he just has this drive to go do it. And but I'm also just like, why when you have nothing left? There's so much for our theory about him and Slightly being a family or something.
I know that's not gonna happen. And we've seen before, Weyland-Yutani is not above keeping people basically enslaved. In Alien Romulus, what happens in the first 10 minutes with the Rain character? She puts in her time. She's ready to retire. And then the lady at the desk goes, oh, sorry, you got 54 more years now. It's just arbitrarily, they just give her more work before she decides to run away.
We just updated our, like, our policy like 2 seconds ago. And it's
so like,
it.
whether it's Weyland-Yutani, Prodigy, they don't recognize humanity. If you work for them, you are in there for freaking life, and you better hope you're at the very like the higher echelon where you just don't give a fuck and you just about your money and being a rich person. Because if you're just a lower class, like working class person, you really will not have a life. Like you will barely have time to be a human.
Yeah.
Same thing with the Joe character. He was basically a slave. So
that was so rude. He was just like, yeah, I want to do some things, and I'm just ready. They were just like,
no medical school. Fuck you.
No, you can't do this. You can't do this. You want to go to war? You wanna go get aliens? We got you. We could do that.
It's so crazy. But I love that episode 5 gave us even more context into Morrow's world and the way that he works. And then we get a really awesome little mini kaiju fight between the Xenomorph and Taco P's Original Sin.
Oh, okay. Oh my God.
We finally get to see what the eyeball does with a human body, because we've seen in episode 4 that haunting ass scene with the sheep.
Oh, I just got goosebumps. I'm okay. Okay.
Haunting. So to finally see it in action with a human body with that poor mechanic.
Yeah.
I thought that I love this. I love how it stays with the goofiness of Alien. I feel like I've seen some complaints online. Some people just complaining about the Xenomorph looking too human sometimes when it moves. And I'm like, guys, have you not watched Alien and Aliens? They do a combination of prosthetics and a dude in a suit.
Yeah.
Like, I'll just insert a clip right here of the Xenomorph in the first movie. It looks funny as shit. I love that movie, but I'm not going to deny that some of the shots are going to look really funny.
Yeah.
And then they did the same thing here where it's mostly a guy in a suit. You can see that. But it's still creepy.
Yeah,
especially the way it descended behind Zoya in the hallway.
Yeah.
Oh, and then some of it is robotics, because I saw in the behind the scenes it is robotics.
Okay.
And then some of it is obviously CGI, where he's just chasing her through the hallway. That was really cool. How did you feel about the whole fight between these two?
I thought that the little eyeball was going to be able to keep it in check and be a little normal, but it wasn't. I mean, obviously when he's like in there, you could see like all the different like pupils and stuff of the eyeball, so somebody would figure it out right away. I thought he was going to speak. I thought he was going to...
God. I was wondering, like, can they use the human brain for language?
I'm wondering if he had more time in there, would he be able to do that?
Yeah.
But I thought he was going to speak to her and she's going to be like, are you good? He's just like, yeah, I just hit my head and my eye. And then just like go. And then I don't know. Don't laugh. I really thought
that would be funny. I would like that.
But then he attacked her.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I really wish that maybe we will see. Maybe we'll see something like that. Whether he ends up, I keep calling whether the alien tentacly ends up in Boy or something, or if Boy's going to end up being the one to get like the
Boy is fascinated with the eyeball.
I'm hoping that he gets got by the eyeball, and I hope that the eyeball's able to stay in him long enough to like, Ratatouille his shit or something like that. I really am, because I feel like I know that Wendy's communicating with some of the aliens, but I want us to see them communicate with the eyeball. Like
finally, two highly intelligent people talking. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's how it's going to end up for him. So that's what I'm kind of hoping for. So when I saw him in the human, I was just like, oh, shoot, is he going to talk? But no, instead he attacked, Zoya? That's her name? Knocked her out. And then the Xenomorph came in. And it was just like, a showdown. Like, they just started fighting. I thought they were on the same team.
For a while, I was like, are they going to, do they cooperate with each other? But I guess it makes sense. It's like the animal kingdom.
Yeah.
Whoever is like the apex predator, they're going to go and just fight. Yeah.
So I thought it was a really good scene. I like seeing the memes of the SpongeBob audio over there.
When the eyeball tries to go into the Xenomorph.
He's like, get it off me, get it off. No, it was really funny and interesting scene. And I like how eventually the eyeball had to like give up and just like went straight for it, just threw himself at the Xenomorph. And
then we see that in episode 1 or 2, we see that it ends up in sadly the cat that was on the spaceship.
Oh yes.
So it had to hide and survive. I give so much respect to the eyeball. This dude, oh my god, he's got Kendrick Lamar energy. Like he's just on site. Like he it doesn't matter how big his opponent is. The fact that he's in a human meat suit that's like just completely fragile compared to like this exoskeleton perfect being. He just went straight for the Xenomorph. He's like, nah, you tonight now. I was like, what is I think he's scarier than the Xenomorph because he doesn't care. He'll go after anything.
He will go after anything, and I feel like there's a little bit more thought into what because he's watching. Like when they do the thing with the eyes, when he's watching, you have all the different. I'm just like,
he's sizing you up.
Yes, he's paying attention to everything, everyone. Like the way he was watching what's her face from the 70s. He was watching her, everything she was doing, to the point where he was able to be like, this motherfucker just got out. Like, hello, lady. Like, you know, you might want to, it's picking up everything. And it's also, I feel like, unlike the Xenomorph, I think it's learning about humans, at least, or what looks like humans, whether it's the cyborgs, but the cyborgs or the synthetics. It's learning how they all, do stuff. And it's waiting and biding its time. And like you said, it went into the cat. So when they landed, the cat was like, it was like this dead looking thing. And we were just like, oh shit, what the fuck is that? But they were just like, ew, it's a cat.
Now with all the context behind it, that scene, it plays out even more hauntingly for me.
I'm like, can I root for the eyeball along
if you
with
want,
like
sure.
I feel I'm like a flip flopper because I'm rooting for the eyeball and then like maybe a little bit like Wendy and Morrow,
and the
Xenomorph. But yeah, I'm really curious as to like where the eyeball is going to land up next, and I want to see them communicate with it. Like I want it to communicate and be like, yeah, y'all a bunch of dummies. Like,
yeah.
Well, we'll just have to go. How many episodes are we getting again?
8 total.
8. Oh damn.
Yeah. So we're getting close to the end already. I'm not ready.
I know. I just want Boy to get got. I'm like waiting for that. I don't know if he's gonna get face hugged or if he's gonna get eyeballs.
End of season 1. I bet you he gets got. I'll predict this since there's 5 companies. I think there's gonna be 5 seasons total of this show.
Oh, each company.
So we're gonna get Prodigy. And then I forget the other names of the companies. All the other 3. And then maybe Weyland-Yutani will be the season finale. And then somehow tie up with events leading up to the first movie.
That sounds nice.
So
I can't get that.
I just can't imagine Prodigy staying around for long, especially since we never hear about their name in the movies. I feel like this is a company that's doomed. Guys, let us know all your thoughts on Alien Earth episode 4 and 5. Give us all your thoughts, your questions, debate us properly with intelligence. Yes, and respect. Thank you. And give us your predictions on the next episode, the rest of the season. We love to hear all your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you like this episode, make sure to give us a like, subscribe, hit notification bells, share this video with your aunties, your friends, your pets, your evil corporations, and your pet alien eyeballs and pet alien xenomorph. And we'll see you guys on the next one.